Okay, welcome. This is Yoga for Cancer. I'm Rebecca Leary Safon, and it's great to see everyone. Just a reminder that you can keep your cameras on because I am recording this session, but you will not be recorded. Only I am recorded. So you can feel free to have your cameras on. I can't see you, a lot of you, because it's small, but it gives me, at least I can see where people are, and so it is helpful that way. So welcome, and to anyone who's new or hasn't been in a while, please remember to take this at your own pace and to please make any adjustments that you need to make to have this work in your body. However you're showing up today, be respectful of that and make modifications. Excuse me, I have a little frog in my throat. I'm perfectly healthy, but I think there's something blooming out there that is affecting me today. And so again, take everything slowly and cautiously, and also have some fun. We are here for that too. So that leads me into what I wanted to talk about just briefly this morning, or this noontime, is the union of the head and the heart. We need both to bring us to a place where we can make good decisions, where we can show up in the world with both our intellect and our compassion functioning at the same time. The heart informs the head informs the heart. And so as we go through class today, we're going to be connecting to these places, like physically connecting, but also bringing the breath there and allowing awareness to be in these areas as a way of just bringing attention, bringing some focus. And I hope that you will enjoy that. So let's go ahead and take a comfortable seat. You can be sitting on a chair, you can be on the floor on a cushion, whatever is going to be comfortable for you, where you can stay nice and upright and awake, but also be able to relax and let go a little bit. So don't slump back in a chair. If you're sitting in a chair, sit up nice and tall. If you're sitting on the floor, it's good to have a cushion underneath your hips so that your knees can be below your hips. Allow your eyes to close or take a soft gaze. And begin to leave behind the events of your morning, knowing that everything will be there waiting for you when you come out of yoga. And allow yourself to be really present with your breath and body, your head and heart. Begin to notice your sensory environment. What do you feel beneath your feet? Where are you feeling connected to the ground, to the earth? Pardon me. What is the environment around you? What is the temperature of the room? Is there light coming in? And then begin to notice where you feel the breath. Maybe it's at the tip of your nose or the back of your throat. That's talking to me today. Pardon me. Or maybe it's deep in your belly or in your heart center. Begin to follow the breath, noticing the inhales all the way to the fullness, and then a brief pause and a transition to the exhale and a bit of emptiness. So take several breaths like this, and I will be right back with you. Staying connected to your breath, and then allow the breath to deepen. Breathing in to your belly. Sometimes it's helpful to bring your hands right to the belly and feel the shoulders and neck relaxed, the belly expanding with each inhale and exhale. Stay with the belly breath for a few more repetitions. And then begin to move the center of your breathing right to heart center. Imagine that you can inhale and exhale right from the center of your heart. With each inhale, feel the heart expand and open. With each exhale, send that heart energy out. So we can both receive and send out this heart energy. And now let's make a connection between heart and mind. So as you inhale from heart center, imagine that the breath is going all the way up to the third eye point, that space right between your eyebrows and the center of your forehead. Feel the breath travel up and light up that spot. And then as you exhale, allow the breath to drop back to the heart and come out from heart center. So inhaling into heart center, breath rises and lights up third eye. Exhale, the breath drops and exits from heart center. Stay with this focused breath for another 5 or 6 breaths. Noticing what this focus brings to mind. And after that 5th or 6th breath, just come back in to your natural breath and take several breaths to notice if anything feels different. Maybe it does and maybe it doesn't. But I hear often this idea that we are where we bring our energy. What we focus on is what we become. And so bringing energy to heart center, bringing energy to our point of greatest intuition and inner knowing allows us to function from those places, perhaps. And so let's continue together. We'll move into sun breaths, inhaling, and allow the arms to just float up, palms up. Exhale, turn palms down and release the arms down. And continue moving with your breath. Your arms can come out or all the way up, whatever feels best for you. If one side is different from the other, then just come to the place that's comfortable for both arms. Take your time and allow this indicator, what you see or feel through the movement of your arms, to help you connect to the speed of your breath. Can you slow it down? Slow down the movement. Slow down the breath. 2 more like this. And exhale, release arms down. We'll do a couple more. Let's inhale up together. Bring palms together and exhale, hands to heart center. Let's do 2 more like that. Inhaling up or out. Palms together as you exhale, bring it to heart center. And one more like this. Inhale up and exhale to heart center. And let's do 3 more. This time we'll inhale up, palms together. Bring your thumbs right to that point, the third eye, the space between your eyebrows. We'll do it 2 more times. Inhale up. Exhale, bring thumbs right to inner eye. Last time. Inhale up. Exhale to third eye. And then release your hands to your lap. Close your eyes. And just take another moment to feel that connection, heart and mind. And then we'll continue together, a little bit more arm movement. Inhale, arms out, and bend your elbows, coming into cactus arms or goddess arms. We'll inhale here to open the heart, and then exhale, bring the left arm towards the right. Look towards your hand. Inhale back to center and exhale to the other side. Inhale back to center and exhale, try to bring elbows and wrists towards each other. Inhale to open, and we'll go to the other side again. Inhale through center, exhale to the side. Inhale through center and exhale, hands together. Bring your hands to your shoulders, giving yourself a little hug. And then we'll shed a layer, reaching up and stretching out. Bring your hands behind you, and maybe you can interlace your fingers. We're going to roll our shoulders up and back, and then inhale, pressing your knuckles down towards the floor, seeing if that can help you to open your heart. Stay for a breath or 2, and then release the shoulders. This time, grab your left wrist with your right hand. If this is not comfortable for you, you can just bring your hand behind you wherever feels good. The idea is to just get a little bit of a pull. So I'm holding my left wrist with my right hand and just drawing it a little bit across my back. I'm going to inhale to sit up nice and tall, and then exhale and drop my right ear towards my right shoulder. Finding a comfortable stretch in the side of my neck, maybe in the top of my shoulder. Stay for another breath. Inhale, come up through center and switch your grip behind you. Inhale to grow tall. Pull that right arm back and exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Should feel a stretch, but if it's painful, please back off and stay with comfort. Inhale to center and release the arms. You can shake them out a little bit. We'll continue with a little bit more head and neck warm up. So inhale in place and then exhale and gently drop your chin towards your chest. Inhale back to center. Exhale, turn and look towards your right shoulder. Inhale back to center and exhale, look left. Inhale back to center and exhale, chin to chest. This time I'm going to inhale and lift my chin, but I'm not going to let my head drop. I'm reaching through the crown, reaching through the chin, just to get a little stretch here. And then I'll come back to center. Inhale here, exhale, look over the left shoulder. Inhale to center, exhale, look right. Inhale to center, exhale, chin to chest. Inhale to center, reach through the chin and the crown. Inhale to center and let that go. We'll shake out. So I had a student come to me and say that she's not comfortable going on to hands and knees today. And that can be something very common. You know, a lot of people can't comfortably be on hands and knees. So we are going to go to tabletop, and I invite you to begin to move in that direction if that's comfortable for you. But I'm going to give you two other choices. One is to sit up where you are, maybe in a chair or on your floor, on your cushion, or to come all the way down to the floor and lie down on your back. So these are the choices that you can choose for this next sequence. So those of you who are choosing to come to tabletop, make sure that you have sufficient padding underneath your knees. Let me slide down a little bit more. We'll come onto our hands or fists or forearms. And you can do that on the floor or on your blocks if you have them handy, or even on a comfortable cushion in front of you. If you're sitting, just stay in place. If you're lying on your back, bend your knees, bring your feet flat on the floor about hip distance apart and close to your bottom. We're going to come into cat-cow, which is something we can do fairly well in all three positions. We'll inhale if you're on tabletop and raise the tail, soften the belly, and lift the crown. Don't let everything drop. Keep a nice support in your belly. As you exhale, think about tucking your tail, drawing your belly in and up, and releasing your head. If you're, continue with this if you're in tabletop, lifting the tail, softening the belly, tucking the tail, drawing the belly in. If you're seated, you can go through this same movement seated. So you'll inhale and raise the heart, exhale and roll back towards your tailbone. So it's easy to make, not easy maybe, but it is definitely doable to make these movements seated. If you're lying on your back, you can work with a pelvic tilt. So it's kind of this, but upside down. So you will exhale and press the small of your back into the floor. Inhale and create that same curve underneath your back. So if you're lying on your back. Okay, so wherever you are, in any one of those three places, take another several breaths, and then see, you could even decide to go to one of the other spots if you'd like to try it out. So take your time, wherever you are, working with your cat and cow or pelvic tilt. And then, if you're up on tabletop, bring your toes together, knees wide apart, and come into your child's pose, settling hips to heels and allowing the head to come down. Maybe you're resting on stacked hands or stacked fists. If you're sitting in a chair, I would just sit calmly, maybe bringing hands to heart center. Maybe you can drop your head towards your hands. And if you're on your back, draw your knees in, hug them in, and roll side to side. We'll take 3 long breaths here, wherever you are. Big inhales, exhales, and release and let go a little bit more. Big inhale, exhale, release, and let go. One more big inhale here, and exhale, release, and let go. From here, if you're in, excuse me, if you're in child's pose, go ahead and press back up to hands and knees. And we're going to make our way up to standing. I was going to have us go through a down dog set of movements. If you're on the floor and you like down dog, you can roll up and come to that. If you're sitting in a chair, you can just make your way up. But if you're in tabletop and you'd like to try down dog, make your hands a little bit wider apart. Index fingers are parallel, so the rest of the fingers are turning out a little bit. Curl your toes under, and then press your hips up and back, letting your knees bend as much as they need to. Maybe you press one heel and then the other, taking your time. And then slowly let your knees bend a lot. Walk your fingertips back towards your knees, hands to knees, and come all the way up. And we'll meet up and standing. So, how did everybody do? Did you try the different versions? There are always ways to adapt poses to make them work for you. So, treat each day, each time on your mat as excuse me, as an opportunity to be really present with what's going on today and make those adjustments. So let's find our mountain pose, Tadasana. Have your feet about hip distance apart. And when I say hip, I mean hip joint, right? The front of your hip points, not out here, right? So in about hip distance apart, your knees and your toes should be pointing in the same direction. Some people are a little more turned out and others are a little more turned in. So find what feels natural to you. Bring your hands to your hips. Let your knees bend and begin to circle your hips. Yeah. Take your time making nice big circles. And then find a place to reverse direction. And circle back. And then come back to center. Press into your feet to stand up nice and tall. Now watch and see where your pelvis is. We want to be nice and up over our ankles, right? We want to be stacked from ankles to hips to shoulders to ears. And so some of us tend to drop everything forward and have a hyper curve in the low back. That is my tendency. And some of us tend to tuck under and sort of hang. So somewhere in between those two positions is your neutral pelvis. So see if you can find that now. It may feel different to you if you're used to gripping in one or the other two positions, but take a soft awareness of where your pelvis is in space. And then let's inhale and raise arms up. Exhale, draw hands to heart center. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, up. Maybe you look up towards your hands. And then exhale, draw hands to heart center. And 1 more time. Inhaling up. And exhaling, hands to heart center. Let's release, hands down. We're going to work with our tree pose. Now, the first thing you want to do is find a focal point, something in front of you that is not moving. In yoga, we call this a drishti. It's just a sort of like the horizon line, right? It's one point. And by fixing our eyes on that point, it helps us to stay steady in our balance. So finding your focal point, and if you've done tree before, great, but stay with me. We're going to move into the pose slowly. We're going to build it. If you have blocks, I'm going to suggest that you take one block and bring it on its lowest height in between your feet. So snuggle your ankles into your block. If you don't have a block, that's fine. You can just follow along otherwise. Take a moment to find your mountain pose again. Lots of strength in the legs. The abdomen is engaged to lift. The chest is lifted, reaching up through the crown of the head. Reach down through the fingertips. Get nice and strong. Take a moment to find your focal point, your drishti. And then begin to just shift the weight ever so slightly into your left foot. So what I don't want is this. I want the foot to be really underneath you, and your whole shift is just over that leg. I think that makes sense. I hope it does. We're going to lift the right heel up. Then we'll turn out. If you have a block, you'll rest your heel on the block. Otherwise, bring your heel right to your ankle. This may be your pose, or step up onto the block, or bring your foot up to your calf. Just please avoid your knee. Feel the connection of one foot to the other leg, pressing in and creating this strong bond. Eyes on your focal point. Let's add some arms. Inhale and reach up, finding some branches to grow. I'm looking out of my windows in front of me. I'm very lucky to have these big, beautiful windows, and there are trees right outside, and they're swaying because there's a lot of little breeze out there. So we can be rooted and planted, but also flexible. Stay with it. If you need to come in and out, put your foot down and then bring it back up. What do you need to do to help secure your balance? One more breath, reach for the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center, and bring the other foot down. Take a moment, get steady. Try not to shift around a lot. Just notice the sensation in each of your legs, in the center of the body. And then again, we'll shift ever so slightly into that right leg. And then begin to lift the left heel. Turn out, resting your heel either on your block or at your ankle. Stay here, or lift up and bring the ball of your foot to the block, or the sole of your foot to your calf. Make that connection. Feel your points of connection to the earth. That's our rootedness. That's our base. And then let the breath lift you up and up. Maybe branches grow. Maybe your branches want to be steady. Or maybe they can sway. Eyes on your focal point. Breath is flowing. Can you find this flexibility? Even if you're static, can it be full of breath and movement? 2 more breaths here. And then exhale, hands to heart center, 2 feet down. And take a moment here. Maybe you can close your eyes. Make sure breath is flowing and feel the sensation of balancing on 2 feet. We take it for granted sometimes, but we need to remember. 1 more breath. And then exhale, release, and shake out your legs. We're going to move into some wide-angled, wide-legged poses. So I'm going to actually, I think I'll turn sideways. Let's see, I may change my mind. So bring your feet out. I changed my mind already. Bring your feet out to a comfortable wide distance. Doesn't have to be the widest you've ever gone, but go a little wider if you tend to be safe. So but of course, be safe. Move at your own pace, but maybe come a little bit wider. From here, we're going to pivot on the heels and turn the toes out about 45 degrees. So knees and toes have turned out 45 degrees. Beautiful. Inhale, raise your arms just to shoulder height. This is 5-pointed star. I love this pose because it sort of all emanates from heart center. So imagine the glow of your star. Each breath in makes that fire a little brighter, and then radiate out, really reach. Imagine you're shooting sparks out through your fingertips, through your toes, and through the crown of your head. 1 more big inhale here, and then we'll exhale and bend knees and elbows, coming into our goddess pose. And shift a little bit from side to side, trying to find my seat in the pose. Inhale here, exhale, and bring hands to heart center. Stay for one more breath. Exhale and drop. And then inhale and press away. Straighten the legs, reach through the arms, and exhale, release arms down. And we're going to go through that 2 more times. Inhale, find your 5-pointed star. Shine brightly. We need as much shine, as much energy, heart energy going out into the world as we can have. Big inhale here, and then exhale and bend knees and elbows. Where can you let go to sink into the pose? If you have knee pain, come out a little bit. Otherwise, sink down. Inhale here. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale here. Exhale, maybe you can drop an inch. Inhale, press it away. 5-pointed star. Exhale, release arms down. We'll do it one more time. Shake it out. We've done a lot of arm work today, so I'm giving us some breaks in between. So, 5-pointed star. Take up your space. Shine your light as bright as you can. Inhale here. Exhale, drop into the seat of your power. This is goddess pose. We can all be goddesses today. So find the center of your power and drop into it. Inhale here. Exhale and bring hands to heart center, because we must bring compassion to power. Drop an inch, another inch, and then press it all away. Biggest star you've done all day, and release arms down, and carefully walk your feet back in. Take a little march in place, a little shake out. Whew, that was good. We're going to do one more standing sequence. So let's turn, I'm turning, and take another wide stance. Come back as far as I can so you can see me. And instead of turning out 45 degrees, we'll start with our toes pointing straight ahead. Then we'll turn, I have my right side to you, so I'm going to turn my right toes so that they're pointing straight ahead, knee and toes in the same direction. My left heel, I'm going to press that away, so now my toes are at a 45-degree angle turned in. My front heel is intersecting with my arch or my back heel. From here, I'm going to inhale, raise my arms to shoulder height, and then bend into my front knee. I'm going to turn again so you can see what this looks like from the side. So I'm here. So my hips are facing toward the long edge. My knee is opening out and over my middle toes. My other heel is pressing away. This leg is strong. My arms are at shoulder height, and then I'm going to just turn my head and look out over my front fingertips. And I called right, so let me switch sides. So I'm on the same side. So from here, we're going to lower the left hand, turn the right palm up, and lift the arm, looking up towards your fingertips. Stay in your warrior two, so keep your knee bent. One more breath. Inhale back to warrior two, and then straighten your leg, release your arms, and turn toes to face forward. Okay, you with me? Let's do the other side. So turning left toes away, knee and toes move in the same direction. We're going to press the right heel away so the toes come in, little like turned in here, turned out here. Hips are pointing straight ahead, and then we'll inhale, arms just to shoulder height, really active arms reaching out through the fingertips. And then on an inhale, we'll bend the front knee just till it's over the ankle, and then turn and look out over front fingertips. Find your strength here. Find your energy. Draw your belly in to support your whole body. Turn left palm up. Lower the right, lift the left, and look up to your fingertips. This is peaceful warrior. Inhale, come back through warrior two. Release the arms, straighten the front leg, turn toes forward, and then carefully walk your feet back in. Beautiful, beautiful, strong warriors today. So we're going to make a transition again from here all the way down to your back. So take your time and make your way down onto your mat. Come to lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet on the mat about hip distance apart. Both knees and feet should be hip distance apart. Take a moment here, let your arms relax at your sides, feeling those points of connection with the earth, the bottoms of your feet, your hips, your shoulders, and the back of your head, your hands, maybe your elbows. Take several breaths here. As you exhale, try to sink a little bit more into the support below you. Inhale to fill and open spaciousness. And exhale to soften and drop in. Beautiful. So from here, we're going to go back to those pelvic tilts. If you were down on your back earlier, you may have done these, but they're sort of the, the sister position to cat-cow. So with your knees bent, feet on the floor, you'll inhale in place and then exhale and tilt your pelvis as if you're tucking your tail and pressing your low back into the mat. As you inhale, release that tuck and imagine that you're bringing your tail towards behind you, if you could, the floor is behind you, and allowing the natural curve of the low back to come back in. So exhale, press the low back down, tuck your tail. Inhale and turn the pelvis in the other direction. Let the low back lift a little bit. So you're staying centered on the mat, but your pelvis is rocking forward and back. So stay with this for several breaths, moving with your breath speed. And then we'll move on together from here. So imagine that your pelvis is a clock, and I mean an analog clock with numbers, right? So right now you're moving between 12 and 6. Imagine that you can travel around the whole exterior of the clock. So press 12 and then roll past 3, all the way down to 6, past 9, and all the way back up to 12. Take a couple of passes in that direction, noticing if there are places that are harder to move through. And then when you get up to 12, reverse direction. And again, notice if there are places that are harder to move through. Can you pause in those places and bring a little more breath? Okay. Now I'm sitting up so that I can keep talking and see, but you should be lying on your back if that's comfortable for you. So coming back to center, let's now move into some bridge work. So we've loosened up the hips and back. And now we're going to, with hands at your sides, palms down, going to press into your feet. And on your inhale, just lift your hips up, maybe an inch or maybe a little bit more. Now I've turned my head to look at the camera. Please don't turn your head. Keep your head in place. Exhale and lower your hips to the ground. Inhale, press into your feet, lift hips up, and exhale, lower hips down. You can continue with that or move on, press into your feet, lift your hips, and stay for a breath. Inhale, lift a little higher, and exhale, slowly lower down. Stay with either of those, or inhale, lift your hips and your arms up overhead, or they can come out to the side. Exhale and lower hips and arms. So continue moving through the bridge practice. You can alternate which version you do. You can pause and rest, or you can continue and add pauses for extra breaths. Take a few moments to work through your bridge pose. If you're feeling any pain in your neck, please back off. Don't lift as high. Make this a gentle and flowing sequence. Take your time. And whenever you feel ready to stop, just gently hug your knees in. Hold maybe one hand on each knee, gently rocking from side to side. Carefully place one foot down and then the other. And keeping your knees bent, walk your feet out wide to the edges of your mat. And then allow the knees to drop in towards center. This position is called constructive rest pose. And it turns off your hip flexors and your inner core muscles so that you can release your low back. So breathe into this pose, maybe 5 long breaths. See if you can let go just a little bit more. And after the 5th or so breath, open, let your knees come apart. Keep your feet where they are. Maybe hands are down, or you can put them out at shoulder height. We're just going to gently drop our knees to one side. Inhale through center and to the other side. And inhale through center. Take your time, rocking back and forth with your knees. Or if it would feel good, allow your knees to drop to one side and pause. Maybe you hold here. Maybe you turn your head to look away from your knees. Or it might feel better to keep moving. Take your time, working equally to both sides. And then come back through center. And once again, hug both knees in towards your chest. And holding on to either knee, whichever one you like, begin to place the other foot down. Maybe you stay here or stretch that leg out, pressing out through the heel. So you're holding one knee in tight and then extending the other leg. Stay here or reach through the heel of your extended leg so much that the leg floats up off the ground. You can stay there or exhale and draw your knee towards your nose towards your knees. Hold for a breath and then release everything. Let it go and take a mini Shavasana, rest pose. And then slowly bend your knees again, draw them both in, one hand to each knee, rock from side to side. And then holding on to the other leg, whichever that is, allow the opposite foot to come down to the mat. Maybe you stay here. This might be your pose today. Or maybe you'd like to extend that leg out. So one knee's drawn in, the other leg extended out, reaching out through the heel, the sole of the foot. Maybe you reach so long that the leg floats up. Maybe you stay here or exhale and draw your nose up towards your knee. Stay for a breath. Make sure you're still breathing. And then let it all go. Exhale, coming into mini Shavasana. Notice any places that are still holding tension. And try to bring your breath to those locations to soften and release the tension. Begin to notice if there's any additional movement that your body is calling for, and take the next 3 or 4 minutes to move through whatever your practice is needing to complete it. Maybe Happy Baby is part of your practice, so you'll draw your knees up towards your shoulders and hold onto your feet and rock. Maybe you'd like to take another twist, a different twist. Maybe you just want to draw knees in and rock from side to side. What is your body calling for to complete your practice? Take your time, working to both sides if you're doing something that has a side. And then begin to make your way into a comfortable position for rest Shavasana. Taking your time. Maybe you'd like something under your knees for support. You can always come back up to sitting if that's better for you. Maybe you'd like something under your head or a blanket over you. Wherever you are, make sure that you are well supported so that you can really let go of any tension. And turn your attention back to the breath. Breathing in and out from your heart center. Imagine the breath is flowing right in at the heart, opening, spreading, softening, exhaling, and releasing heart energy. so needed in the world. Stay with the heart breath for several repetitions. And then bring your attention back to the third eye, that point between eyebrows and forehead. And as you rest your attention there, allow the breath to come and light up that space. What does this awareness feel like? Can you feel a tingling, an awareness, a lighting up of that space? Breathing in and out of the third eye, the place of inner knowing, intuition, curiosity. And then again, establishing that connection between the heart and the head, breathing in to heart center, feeling the breath flowing up to light up the third eye. As you exhale, releasing the breath down and out through the center of the heart. Stay with this heart breath for several repetitions until you'd like to release and just let go into your natural breath. And we'll take a rest. how often we stop, change, hesitate, only to still regret our choices, while at night our hearts live life without asking questions. Begin to deepen your breath, bringing small movements into fingers and toes. When you feel ready, roll to one side and pause. And then press into your fingertips to make your way back up to sitting, allowing attention to stay deeply inward for another moment or two. We'll seal our practice with 3 chants of Om, one for the head, one for the heart, and one for the community we create when we practice together. If you'd like to join, bringing hands to heart center, we'll inhale together. Om Shanti, peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me and with each other.